Trumpeter by Harold Little. He is my guest for tonight. Welcome, everyone, to Let's Jazz It Up, blogtalkradio.com. Here I am, Brenda Moss, a.k.a. Lady Diva. The phone lines are open at 657-383-0771. Please call in. There are some CDs we are giving away for free. The first 5 callers get a free CD of Harold Little's new album, which is called Stronger Than Pride. Welcome, Harold Little. Welcome to my show.
Hey, Brenda. How you doing, honey? Thanks for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity. Yes, indeed.
All right. Where are you calling from, Harold?
I am calling from Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. Yes,
all right,
indeed.
Washington, D.C. All right, fans, call in.
And in particular, Southeast Washington, D.C., and you'll hear about that a little later. Southeast.
All right.
East of the river, you dig?
All right. Thank you for that information. Wow. So tell us all how your journey began, starting on playing your musical instrument, Harold Little. Go right ahead.
Yes. So I started playing trumpet in elementary school, 6th grade, and I've never put it down. I went through D.C., Washington, D.C. public schools, all the way up to Duke Ellington School of the Arts, which is a arts-focused high school, and then from there, from the University of the District of Columbia, is where I really gained my chops and all that from, under the tutelage of Calvin Jones and Langston Fitzgerald. Calvin Jones was a big guy on the jazz scene, and he stayed there for about 24 years, something like that. So I started in elementary school, the 6th grade. Yep, yes indeed, and I've never stopped, and I don't think I ever will.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that information. And why did you pick the trumpet?
It's that's a funny story, Brenda. So we had a band director playing marching music and all that stuff, and was trying to start a band. Of course, they announced it on the intercom and all that. You know, whoever's interested, come on down to the band room. And there was a chart on the wall with all of the possible instruments, right? And I wanted to play drums, but there was too many kids who wanted to play the drums. So I had to pick a different instrument, right? So I'm looking on the chart. I'm like, well, I'm blown. I'm like, man, hold up. That's all I wanted to do was play drums. But I had to pick a different instrument. So I thought at that age, I said, well, this instrument here, the trumpet, doesn't only have like 3 buttons. I was like, well, shoot, I can play that. It's only got 3 buttons, but I didn't realize how hard it was. So
it is hard to play.
I picked the one with 3 buttons. I was like, okay, that can't be that hard since I couldn't play drums, right? So that's how I started. I picked that during the recruitment time, back then, and I hadn't stopped since. I found out later that was a tough, very tough instrument, brass instrument that's unforgiving and who doesn't care about you, and trying to make 12 notes out of 3 buttons. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I didn't realize that.
Thank you for that information. So, did you have to train your mouth muscles to learn how to play that instrument? Because it is very hard to play.
Trumpet is unforgiving. It's brass, right? So saxophonists and other instruments, the brass instruments, you have to place your lips inside of a unforgiving piece of metal and try to make a sound out of it. Of course, at that age, I didn't realize all that. But it is very difficult to play brass, and it's unforgiving. And you can't play all night on brass because, I mean, your muscles tire out almost like
Yeah.
a weightlifter or boxer.
Yeah.
It just get tired, and it's very hard. I didn't realize that, though, at that time. And you just have to keep practicing and practicing for hours just to develop a
Yeah.
sound to come out of
Oh.
that instrument. And it's a beautiful sound. We call there's a certain personality that has to play the trumpet because you have you have to have some type of confidence. Say, I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my mom, right? So we lived like in a 1 bedroom apartment. My mom and them slept in the living room. So anyway, I couldn't practice in the apartment. It was so small that I had to go outside. My mom was like that. Take that horn outside. But what she did for me was a favor, because when you're playing brass, it's better to practice outside so you can fill the whole horn up and
Yeah.
get the sound that you want. So I'm outside disturbing the neighbors and everybody, just practicing. I was in the 6th grade out there
Oh.
on the stoop of the apartment complex, and
Yeah.
they would get
Yeah.
mad and they would slam the window down and little
Yeah.
Harold, shut that noise up and slam the window.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that was
thank you for that information. Is your family musically talented? Your father, mother, your siblings?
yes. My mom used to sing. My father was born is one of 14 children, but some of them passed on now. But one uncle on my father's side was Norris Little, and they used to call him Brute. And he used to be a promoter in Washington, D.C. And back in the 70s, a lot of the groups used to come through D.C., and my father used to take me to their rehearsals. So I got to see live at rehearsal like Shaka Khan, like Stevie Wonder. I mean, I
Yeah.
would see Parliament and them, the band members, down my grandmother's house, just hanging out and doing what they do, right?
Wow.
And I was just around that. My mother didn't want me to go down there because they were doing things that is inappropriate for children, as far as, but my father would take me down there and just hang around, and I got exposed to music primarily through my father. My mom was the vocalist, though, but my father, Uncle Brute, had us around all the musicians, Gil Scott Heron. I can go on, but these folks used to come through Washington, D.C. to perform for him, and he would have rehearsals at these warehouses. I was so small, I didn't realize where I was. I know I was somewhere around D.C., but yeah, that was a great time.
All right.
Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you for that information. Now, this last album you had put out, it's named, how do you pronounce it?
Technically, it's called Akoben. Most people
Okay.
call it Akoben, and
Yeah.
it means war horn.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that was inspired by the tragedy down in Texas, Sandra Bland. I was upset.
Yeah.
So it was
Oh,
a bunch of
wow.
things going on at the time, and I just wasn't really. I was kind of. I was like, okay, another person passed away, another one get murdered by cops and all that. But when her situation, I kind of felt a certain way. So I wrote
Yeah.
a song, Akoben,
Okay.
which is a fight song
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
being in Africa, the troops come together. Akoben is an instrument that the Africans use. It was like a goat's horn or some type of animal tusk that they made a horn of,
Yeah.
and they would blow it over over the community, just to get people to gather. Somebody could have been born, or they most of the time it was like it's time to fight. So I wrote that song. It was inspired by that. My producer, Big Herb White, titled it for me, but I got to looking it up, and I was like, this is perfect. That's the perfect title for my original song.
Wow. Thank you for that information.
Yeah.
We have a caller, area code 202. Please state your name. Go ahead and speak, please.
Oh,
hello.
Would that be me?
Yes,
Hello.
that would be you, and you have won, and you get a free CD.
Well, I already have it because I purchased it because I love this guy and his music. My name is Dina. We went to school together.
Hello, Dina.
Hey,
Dina. Hey.
Hey, baby. How you doing, Dina? Oh, my girl. She is so supportive. Thank you, Dina. Thank you, baby.
Oh, of course, of course.